sewing students, I'm going to be showing you a few things you can do with my oversized sewing objects. One, you need a needle and you need some thread. You need to cut your thread. This one's probably too long. Make sure it's not too long, but also not too short. You need to grab the end of your thread. Sometimes it starts to fray, starts to look fuzzy at the end, so you can cut it off to help you get it through, or I'm going to show you. If you hold it so there's a long tail, you're not going to be able to get it through because it's going to bend. I'm trying to stick it in my very best. It's not working. So you need to go until just a very little bit is peeking through your fingers, just your 2 fingers. One of my students called this a sliver, so it should look just like a sliver. You're going to take your needle end and you're going to hold it right over the top until you can see it, and then you're just going to peel your fingers back. So once again, you're just going to rock your fingers back till more of it pulls through. So just in your very tip of your finger, peel it back until a little bit pulls through, and then you can grab it and you can pull it. You're going to pull until you get to the middle of your strings, and you have your 2 ends down here that are lined up. With your 2 ends, you're going to tie a knot down here in the 2 ends. So let me show you how you do that really quick. One way is to lay it on the table, pull it around to a nice bunny ear. So you can see how you tie your shoe like a bunny ear. There's a part where there's an X. Pick up that X with one hand, right where those 2 overlap. Okay? And then you're going to take these 2 and go swim underneath and through the bunny ear. So once again, swim underneath through the bunny ear in the middle and pull it until you have a knot. Okay? One other way that you can do that, so once again, that was the bunny ear, with picking it up at the X, pulling it through. Another way you can do that is to simply take your hand, go around 2 fingers. Again, you have an X, and then you just simply push, pick up that X, and I push it through with my thumb. Okay? So I go over with my X, and then I push it through, up and under. Once you have your knot, you could cut off these bunny ears, these long tails if you'd like. But now you're ready to sew. Okay? That's the hardest part for some people, is just getting their needle ready. Once you have your fabric picked out, or your felt, you're going to take your needle, you're going to go up and through the hole, and then you're going to go until you see that knot on the back. Okay? It's important that you can see that knot. And we're going to go back down through another hole. Keep pulling it through until there's no loop right here on top of, and there's just a little one sticking through. If you want to make sure that your thread doesn't pull out, let's say that you're pulling so hard that your knot is going through the fabric, there's an easy way to stop that. So make sure you have enough here, and you're going to go back and you're going to swim through this hole, this little loop that you created in between your fabric and your knot. When you do that, it's going to create another knot on the back so that your fabric, your thread rather, doesn't go through your fabric. Okay? And again, the oversizedness. You can see that's not going anywhere. Okay? Now there's a couple different ways that you can sew with this. You could go straight across, just like when we did these boards. You can go up and down, up and down. Ooh, craziness. Craziness going on. Up and down. Okay. Or you could begin doing a whip stitch. So that was the running stitch, where you go up and down, up and down. Excuse me. Or you could do the whip stitch. Whip stitch is great if you're going to be stuffing something. If you have 2 pieces of fabric and you're going to be stuffing something together, you're going to want to do the whip stitch so that stays in. The whip stitch is easy too. All you have to do is you just do it on the edge, and you're going to continuously always go down. What I mean by that is you're always going to be putting your needle on the top, poking it through, pulling it down. On the top, poking it through, pulling it down. This is also kind of a decorative one if you're putting 2 things together and you want to see your thread on the side. the whip stitch. This is the whip stitch. So you're whipping it around the edge. So around the edge, you whip it around the edge, always going down, always going down. You can see you can see that edge, and that would easily hold two pieces together with all the fabric inside because the thread kind of holds that edge in place. This one's great if you want to go fast, but again, there are gaps if you want to do that way, right? If you want to end your sewing project, if you're doing a whip stitch, it's pretty easy. All you need to do is tie a knot. So you're going to go through. You have a bunny ear loop right here. So then you're just going to swim through that bunny loop. And you have a knot. Okay. If you're doing a running stitch, so again, the running stitch was that first one. If you want to end a running stitch, you need to create that loop. So let's just say I did the running stitch. You're going to go back down through the hole, and then you're going to create this bunny loop. So right here, I'm going to go through it. I have a bunny loop, so I can swim through it again. Pull it tight. That's sewing on my oversized board for you.